Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Howdy y'all, Rebel Laughlin here, one of the wise ones on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. When I'm not doing TV shows, and I do 3 every Thursday back to back to back, I'm a researcher. I research the human body at the cellular level, chemically speaking. I look for cause and effect relationships. Treat a cause, fix a problem. My latest book called Aging Sucks, the guesswork, there is hope, essentially covers what are the primary causes of aging, what can we do about it, and that's what it goes into. It actually gives you some level of, yeah, there are things we can do, and here's what they are. That book will be published on July 4th. Enough about me for today. Let's go ahead and jump right into our author. Welcome back. Different show today, like last time we did on the corner bookstore, but Alan R. Warren, please join me up here on stage.
How you doing?
Exceptionally well, as always.
Good. Aging sucks, eh?
Yes, aging sucks. Yeah. I go into the causes of aging, the damage that occurs, and what the repair mechanisms are, and what can you do to make them worse or make them better. That's me. Now, let's jump into you. You just had a book released, what you said, 2 weeks ago?
Yes. Yeah, it's called Cults, and it's the interviews. It's part of, I have an interview series. That's book 9, and it's where I take particular people involved in something and I interview them. So with this, the Cults, I have a survivor of Waco who was there during the attack. I have a survivor of Jonestown, who was a little girl that got away when they were doing the Kool-Aid thing and went through the jungle and escaped. So that's kind of the theme of it. Is speaking with someone that survived a cult at the end of the day, how they did it.
I remember the Jonestown thing down in South America, Guyana, wherever it was at.
Yeah.
That was pretty horrific. And so this young girl managed to protect herself and get away from everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's strange. She was only 5, and she managed to go like, I don't know what it was, 10 or 15 miles through the jungle to get to other people and eventually get out of the country and get back home. And that was all while all the Kool-Aid drinking and stuff like that was going on. So it's pretty amazing to get through that and to make it home so young, you know.
How do you find people like that?
Oh, well, she was a really nice lady. I felt sorry for her in a sense because it really set the course for her life, right? It wasn't, I mean, how can you go through all that, and lose your family and be a national media sensation in a sense for something like that? And then after the cameras go away, you have to move on. And I know she had a lot of struggles with drug addiction and all sorts of things through her teen and young adult life. So I think pretty amazing to come through all of that and come out on top. I think that's what I can say about her. But it's really tough to talk with people like that because you start to live through what they went through and think about what you would do if you were in that situation, or how would you be strong enough to do that and to escape something like that. That's makes you think a lot.
Do you do your own research, or do you have a private eye that you hire to go find the survivors?
Oh no, I do it all myself. I've never hired a private eye. I couldn't imagine that because I mean, I guess you can, it's fine, but I get an idea and I want to talk to them personally. A lot of times when I approach people too, when you find them, I want to explain to them what I want to do, how I want to do it, and see if they're okay with it. See what if they have any ideas or what they feel or what they want to do. Because sometimes you find people and they're like, they don't want anything to do with it. They want no attention. They might have changed their name. They have a life now. The last thing they want to do is rehash something that happened 30, 40 years ago and bring that back into their current life. So I respect that totally. So that's sort of, I think that's why I don't involve a third person, like whether they're investigator or a research team or anything, because then it's up to them what they do and they have their hands involved, and I can't control that. And I'd rather be able to say, okay, fair enough. I have no problem with that, and then do something different or find someone different. So,
Okay, so you mentioned already one that was down in South America. I know last time we talked, you mentioned something about a woman you interviewed with a translator in Germany or Austria or wherever.
yeah.
So it's just not the United States with serial killers. It's anywhere in the world where they happen to be, that you follow them as far as one series of writing. But this cults book is one that is not necessarily, I guess they are still serial killers still. But these are survivors of serial killings, massive and not so much.
Yeah, I wanted to put the emphasis on the people that survived it and how they survived it, and not all of it's good. You know, sometimes it doesn't turn out so well, and I mean that in a way of like when I had the guy that survived Waco, who was in Waco when the big battle happened with the ATF and FBI and all that, and people got killed. He survived it and came out of it, and was able to tell you what it was like from the inside and from his perspective, from his side, being a follower and being in that commune when they were attacked, and just sort of what went on, and then how he deals with it now. And I think the hardest thing is people like that quite often stick with their, for a lack of a better word, religion. So he still is waiting for David Koresh to return, and David Koresh is the only one that told the truth about God and the real story, and he's not the only one, but he survived it and he went through all of that, and even now after all these years he's waiting for David Koresh to come back and present himself, and so that's what I mean. It doesn't always turn out for the best. It doesn't always turn out good. Some people end up giving away their whole life, and that I think that's the hardest thing to deal with, is that they never just got through it and came out of it, like the lady down in Jonestown. She actually came out of it now and has a life and has moved through it. Some people are still sitting in what they were when it happened.
Okay, so you started out following serial killers and writing books, and now you have this massive business empire, so to speak, and a radio show, and just a lot of things. So things have developed over time. So when you first started on the serial killer series, what did you envision would happen, 10, 15 years down the road?
Actually, I didn't envision anything happening. I didn't think anything would come out of it. The first time I was producing a few podcast shows before I even got into radio, they were terrible and they weren't doing that good. And I didn't really in my mind, I wasn't going, well, this is going to turn into be a great, I'm going to do this and do that and all that. So it wasn't like anything like that. I had no vision in that way. I was just plunking away, and then I kind of got a break, and then it all sort of started building from there. I couldn't say I had any plan. And certainly what few ideas I did have, none of them turned out the way I wanted them. It all went in a different direction. And I think the biggest thing is it's a good thing because you learn from mistakes, you learn from directions you go in, and you kind of think, well, this would be cool, this would be great, and it's not. And then you kind of go, well, why? And then you start building off of that. And I think that's probably the best thing that could have happened to me, because then that led me in a better direction. So no plans.
It's interesting. I talked last week about adaptability on my show that follows this one, about how our bodies adapt to things and get stronger. And today I'm talking about adaptability isn't enough. But I'm going to start a little bit with the health, but I'm going to start talking more about non-health issues, business and success. And it sounds like as you quoted, mistakes, lessons learned, you adapt, you go down a different road, hopefully not a rabbit hole too far. But okay, so you start, and now you have a half a dozen books and a dozen books. You have a lot of books. And so you have a time that you have to actually research, get police records, do your own media searches and all that kind of stuff. So you have part of your, I'm going to just summarize everything into a day or a week, part of a week that you're actually writing, researching. You have part of a week that you're doing a radio show. You have part of a week that you're marketing, like we are today. What does a typical, quote, week look like if you averaged it out?
It's the same every day. For me, it's getting up 4 or 5 in the morning, walking the dogs for about 5 miles, coming back, my coffee, getting going, and it's being organized. So I like to be very organized and planned, but every single day I have a big list of achievements I've got to do, things I've got to get accomplished. And I just sort of try to follow that organization right through. So it could be, I could have 2 or 3 interviews scheduled. I could have a meeting with someone. And then I'll spend an hour or two on, because I have 5 or 6 cases running at a time. So I'll be updating each case, like where I'm at. Okay, so I've got this person got back to me, this one I can't find, and things like that. And then setting up appointments, meetings, talking, conversation, traveling if I have to. All of that goes on every day, and from the beginning until 6, 7 at night, when the dogs kind of look at me again, go, that's enough. They kind of, and so then I get out of it, walk them again, and then try to relax a little bit at night. But you got to work it every single day. And the more you put into it, the more you get accomplished. And I think the more that you see things that come up, you just go, okay, I'll do it now. I'll do this, And I think the big thing is you gotta stay busy when you're waiting. So when you're in that transition of waiting for someone to get back to you, or waiting for that to happen, or this interview, I've got an hour. What can I get done? And that's pretty much how my mind works. And that's good and it's bad, because if I have a lot of those still hanging at bedtime, I won't sleep. My mind will be going, I got to get this, got to get that, and add it and do this and stuff like that. So it's endless. You just got to keep working. The biggest thing is to keep organized. Yeah, that's the key to it all.
Okay, tell us about your dogs.
I have 3 acres, and so what I do is I'm a foster home officially for the SPCA, the pound, and so I take all small and medium dogs, and I take the older ones. I'm known as the old dog man because they're usually 10, 8, 15, whatever, and so they just come and they stay until I keep them. Very seldom any leave the house, because nobody wants the old dogs. They all want the puppies and the young ones and stuff. So right now I've got I just got an 8-year-old Chihuahua and actually a 2-year-old Jack Russell. I haven't had that young of a dog in a long, like 15 years, 20 years. Wow, energy. If you could bottle that young energy up. Even the other dog, the older dog, looks at him and is like, "Oh, are you kidding?" It's just like, slow down, buddy. Take a break. Endless amount. Just run, 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 go, go, go. And I just wish you could. But that really charges me. Gets me going, because it's something you can really enjoy, watching them really have a good time and spending an hour with them walking, doing stuff. It's the best feeling you can have, and it really helps me with stress or anxiety. Like about this and that's how's that interview with Red going to go today? Oh my God, he's so strict, right? He's but all the things that run through your mind, it just sort of calms it. It's my way of calming it, which I'm glad I have them. I tell you, I need them as much as they need this home. You know what I mean? It's just such a good thing for me. I don't know if I could make it or get through the things that I do without that. Everyone needs some sort of thing like that.
So I think the word is symbiotic.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and it's some people, I guess, will drink, and some people smoke, some people eat, some people, I don't know. We all do these things. For me, that's my go-to. And when I'm getting stressed or having a rough day, I'll even take them out for another walk. Let's go out or go for a drive and go do something. And it just breaks up that, because, we're dealing with a tough business. You know that yourself, right? It's not all roses and there's a lot of work that's involved. And I think it's good to have that balance.
Okay. So when you started out, were you mainly filing paperwork? Or when did you transition to digital records?
Oh, both. Yeah, I've done both, right? Digital is more in the last, more each year, especially in the last 10 years. It's becoming easier and more adaptable. You can find things quicker and you don't have to travel as much, which is a good thing. But you have to make sure your sourcing is accurate and good. And you have to rely on what you're doing, because when you're putting out something in nonfiction, no matter what part of nonfiction, it has to be real. It has to be the thing that people can rely on. Otherwise, your reputation will go out the door. So it has to be real. It has to be a good source all the way around. And still, live good sources are really important, not just old newspapers and things like that, not just digital stuff. Going out and meeting people. There's nothing better, especially when you get into things like crime and cults, let's say, because you can actually experience them and how the situation has changed them, or what they've done through that time. And you can feel it and see it and hear it. And it's different than what you get from, let's say, an old newspaper or even people that knew people and all that stuff. It's the real thing. And there's no replacement for that. So there's still a lot of that I do. It's not.
You say you primarily work on a to-do list on a daily basis. So you're updating this list, and I'm sure it never gets done, but it keeps you focused on what's important. And so you may have had something on the list like me 2 months ago, and it kind of fell off the edge. But I pick up these things. Okay, that needs to be put back on the list.
Yeah.
Or as you say, something comes in, and now you got to put it on the list because it's new information. So how do you track your to-dos?
Well, for me, I have my own list. It's like a calendar, but it's not. So it's a list, and I'll just keep putting things on it. And then when I get up and I've had the dogs some coffee, I go, oh, this person I can talk to here. This one I've got to do this. I've got this interview and that interview, and I've got this to do. I just sort of, I go through it in the morning, and then I go through it in the afternoon, and then at night, and I just keep updating whether I'm taking something off or adding something. And it bothers me in a sense that sometimes it'll be something I want to do, and it's on my list, and it doesn't get removed. So it stays there. And that really wears on me. I'll look at it, it's been there for 2 weeks, and I'm really getting anxious. So that is the hardest thing. But yeah, no, I just keep it I keep it simple in a sense that this is what you need to do, because things will complete in time. Like, I don't put end dates on a lot of different projects. Articles and things I do for press or something that has a date, that's one thing. But a lot of my own books, I don't put like an end date, like, oh, it has to be done by this. I rather complete books, and if I'm going to have a publisher or somebody involved in it, then I send out and try to sell it that way. And I've got, I guess, enough of a reputation that when I approach different publishers, they kind of, oh, so what do you got, or what do you want to present? And you just tell them, listen, this is what I've been working on. Talk to them personally, and it usually works out pretty good. Sometimes not, but it usually works out pretty good.
Okay, we're going to take a break here, literally in just a few seconds, about a minute and a half, and we'll be back. But after the break, I want to go into your travel, because I know you've been to more than a few places. So why don't we think about that when we come back, and that'll be our first topic.
Sounds good.
People are searching for experts every day. Are they finding you, or are they finding someone else? Every day, professionals are building authority through media. We've already built the platform. USA Global TV and Radio. Over 14,000 shows streamed to over 60 countries. This isn't about becoming famous. It's about leverage, visibility, credibility, opportunity. One interview, one conversation, one show, repurposed into content, connection, and business growth. Most people assume hosting a TV show requires a studio, a production team, and a massive budget. Our television packages begin at $1,500 US per month. Professional production, global distribution, replay visibility, built for voices with something to say. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and if this resonates with you, we should talk. USA Global TV and Radio, all rights reserved. Contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com.
Red O'Loughlin here, one of the wise ones, and today's guest is Alan R. Warren. Alan, please join me again. We chatted just before the break about travel. I know you've been to South America. I know you've been to Europe. What are some of the places you visited that you hope you never go back to? And, and what's one or two that you'd love to go back to?
Well, that's a question. Where would I not? I can't really think of anywhere I wouldn't want to go back to. Maybe at a particular time, it could work. But I usually go for one of two reasons, right? And it's usually to meet people, or get the story, or get the idea. And the other one would be to understand the atmosphere of where it happened, to know where you're at, and to maybe see how people live and how the culture is, so you can kind of understand maybe why certain things would happen, and certain people have different reactions and stuff. You got to pick up the climate, so to speak. So I think that's the two main reasons that you go to a place live and do that, and meet people, of course. But I can't think of any place that was so bad that I wouldn't want to go back. It's usually more about the situation that you're dealing with than the place, in my experience. So I don't want to pick on anyone, but it's all been pretty good overall. And favorite places, I always like going back to most places in Europe. Like I could take almost anything. Portugal, the UK is fun. France was great. I think Greece. There's some really good places to go. I guess one place I wouldn't go now is Russia. No offense. It's just kind of with the way things are. So I'd probably avoid that. I know I had done a couple of things with Russian crime writer, once, and so that's okay. But right now, it doesn't seem appealing, right? So, but I have nothing going on with that category anyway right now, so I don't have to worry about it.
You mentioned last time we chatted about you go to a place, sometimes it's actually open to the public. I think it's Manson's home that you talked about. I can't remember if that was one.
Yeah.
You wanted to get the feel, but when 30,000 other people doing the same thing at the same time, it's kind of hard to get that feel.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and that never works. I think the best thing to get, the best feel you'll get is when you're in an area, like if you were in Haight-Ashbury, for instance, and you can kind of see how people are living, what they do with their day, what's fun to them, how they talk, how they interact, the feeling you get, the vibe. And I think that's the key to it, more than some of the other stuff. So it's just more about just picking up the vibe of the community and where you're at, because sometimes things happen and it's in a really nice suburb of a great place and it's really pretty and you wouldn't expect it, but you can sort of get how that person probably grew up or lived a little bit better than without that. I think it's important to do that for me anyway, because I'm always writing from the setting and the timing, because that you need that to give a complete story, whether it be crime or whether it just be a love story. It doesn't matter what it is. I think you need that because you're missing the atmosphere and the timing and how people lived, and that so you're missing a big element for me. That's how I do it.
It's taken me about 2 years to finally get my AI to a point where I can actually brainstorm and become a better, effective writer.
Right.
He'll tell me that word's not a good word. He says, "Yeah, that's right, but it's not what." Anyway, so we go back and forth on things. And do you use AI at all in anything you're doing, or do you plan to use it?
No, I don't, and I haven't had any plans. I haven't really, to be honest, thought about it. Only when people bring it up to me. I'm sort of in my pattern. I'm doing what I do, and I don't really see any changes for me right now. And I think that, I guess I don't really have the time to learn and to get into the new AI system and then have it do things for me. I think that I've set up enough connections and enough people and done a lot of things that it's just easier to do what I do. Pick up the phone, or do this or do that, or send someone an email and start the ball rolling. I would probably experiment a lot with it if I was young and starting out, and try to see where it could help and where I could make things better or make things easier to get information. But right now I've just got it all so worked out. I haven't really given it much time to do. So probably not. I have no thought about it yet anyway.
No perceived need at the present time.
No, and it's taking the time. You know what I mean? To kind of get out and start picking up, like you said, now you've got it down where you can do something and work with it. I guess I just haven't made room for that yet. I haven't, you know what I mean? Because I've had so much going on.
I started with a 2-page prompt, where I defined who he was, who I am, what my client is, what my value I want, what my expectations are. And then every so often you got to slap them upside the head and say, "That's not what I want." Go back in and add what we're doing to your prompt so we don't go down this hole again. And do that 3 or 4 times. And you can ask them, what is your ethical paradigm? What is your ethical philosophy? And so then all of a sudden I started discovering that he's trying to protect me. And I say, "Give me the sources. I don't care about whether you're protecting me or not." I said, "You give me, I will make that decision." And so it's a learning give and take. Just like you said earlier on lessons learned, you adapt to whatever's going on. And so I finally got to the point where now I can have a meaningful conversation on the weather, on just about anything that I want. I said, what's the weather going to be like? Well, what's the Madden Julian oscillation say for Houston for this? And so now we start getting into some of the models, and we talk about 4, 5, or 6 models that cover this, and then El Nino coming in. And so I get really into some of the details because he can go find stuff and interpret it a different way. We still have some disagreements. There's about 2 topics that that's not what I believe, but I understand you're getting stuff that's what the culture says. So, okay, I'll live with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like I said, I have not put the time in, and maybe next year or later this year I will. I know it's hard to say.
Tell us about your radio show.
Oh, well, it's a show about mystery. So we talk to a lot of people that have lived through some sort of a mystery, whether it's crime or non-crime, and we talk to a lot of writers who write fiction and how they put that together. We talk to producers, filmmakers, all sorts of people. And it's been, we've done 15 years. We're in year 16 now. It's syndicated on several stations as well. So I've kind of, been around. Got 2,500 interviews up on the website now that you can actually listen to any of them. That is up there. So we got 2,500 of them up, and there's more every day, every year. And we talked to everybody. There's all the categories, everything from the award-winning authors to the horror. We get into it could be cozy, it could be crime, true crime, cults, a JFK assassination. We take some of the big old crimes too, Jack the Ripper, Zodiac, and things like that, and have a lot of people that have written about it or talked about it and get into it. New true crime cases too, or cases that are in the news now. Sometimes we do that. Fiction, and we do science fiction. Let's see, fantasy. I think we cover quite a bit.
Anything on Julius Caesar and his alleged accidental death?
Yeah. No, actually, that's one that we haven't. I think we've had one interview covering Julius Caesar, but not much else. We haven't gone that far back. Now you're going to make me think about it and give me more work to do.
Well, I've always been fascinated by him over time, and Hannibal and a few others back in that time frame.
Yeah, it's in history. It's just great, endless amount to cover, and it's fascinating. Yeah, I do a lot of that through here, but not Caesar, but we've done a lot of historical shows.
What was the? I'm not going to say interesting. When you start uncovering something and you find something, have you ever had that? Oh my goodness! You finally realize that you found something that maybe nobody else has found. Do you ever have any of those kind of situations?
Oh yeah, that stuff like that happens all the time, because when you're out doing a case or you're out meeting people, you'll hear stories. Sometimes that makes it harder, but because when you're out doing a case and research and you're talking to a lot of people, all of a sudden people start telling you stories about, behind the scenes. And some of them are pretty wild. But then in order to use that, you have to try and confirm it. And that's the toughest part, because you'll hear gossip basically about what was going on with this person, and this guy's a murderer, and he was sleeping with the sister of this one, and she was the one that got murdered and stuff. So you start hearing all these stories, but you have to go out there and it takes longer, because then you have to go, well, is this true, or is this some sort of made up thing? And then you have to go find other people and talk. So they end up dragging it out even more. I don't know if that's the best thing, but yeah, that's it happens all the time. But 90% of them aren't what they turn out to be, like what you hope they would turn out to be. Usually it's not substance. It's just a lot of feeling and emotion, and comes out in words, and it's not necessarily something you can use, but that happens in all the stories too.
Now, you've also gone into prison and talked to people there that have committed the crimes.
Yeah.
How difficult is that to get in? I assume that the perpetrator is the one that has to give you permission, but is there other permissions that have to be gotten also?
Oh yeah. So first of all, you find out where they're at, like what prison, what country, what area of the country, and then you have to approach the country prison system, whatever that is, to see if you can visit and what their rules are. Usually it's like an application form. You fill out all, 2 or 3 pages, you send it in, someone gets back to you, and then they tell you, they if you're passed and approved, then they tell you what the rules are. Some places you can't bring cameras, some not even pens and papers, some you can bring a recording device. There's all these rules, and some are like maximum, let's say 20 minutes per day you can visit someone that's a prisoner like that. I've come across all sorts of different. So you get all that set up and you find out which prison they are in specifically. Then you approach them with your approval, and that prison itself will go through a little process and then tell you yes or no, and then they have to talk to the prisoner or the representative, and then you go from there. And so, yeah, some of them are long, some of them 6 months to get in. So,
maximum security prisons, do they allow that?
Yes, some no. Again, I've come across all of it. In general, no. In general, they're a lot stricter. You can get in, but you go through a lot to get in, and there's a lot of times you can't even bring pen and paper or nothing. You go in and you're allowed 15 minutes twice in 1 week, and it takes a lot of time. Yeah, and you go in there really, and you sit there and you could eat. It's not enough time, in my view, but that's just how it is.
We're getting ready to close out the show here just in a couple minutes. How do people get in touch with you? How do they see your radio show? How do they listen to your radio show? I don't know. Is that also a video presentation nowadays? I know a lot of them are. And then the third thing is, how do they get your books?
Well, my website, alanrwarren.com, and there's also the houseofmysteryradio.com, and they're connected, so you can click on one and then you could hit radio shows and it takes you to the shows or to the books. On that site, it gives you all the places that air the show, and the platforms. It gives you a link to most of them. It also gives you a link to all the books. The books are sold in most stores, and as well as, of course, online, Amazon and things like that, or whatever place you deal with. Or you can get it through the website. If you want a signed book and I'm not there, of course, I can get a signed book out to you. And again, the shows, all the old ones are up. They're on most platforms, everything from YouTube right through. Most are not video. We don't do video. We're doing radio. But on the YouTube, if it wasn't a video one, we have pictures of the books or maybe the guest or certain things all running through the show. So yeah, we don't do a video presentation.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, and that's just House of Mystery Radio.
House of Mystery Radio.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. For our audio audience, they'll be joining us later on today. Alan, ALANR Warren, WARREN.com. And you said House of Mystery Radio.
Yeah, so .com as well.
.com.
Yeah.
Alan, I really enjoyed our first conversation not long ago, and this one I think I enjoyed better. So I'm
good.
going to bid you adieu, and I'm sure we're going to bump into each other down the road. So.
Oh yeah, hope so. Well, thank you very much for taking the time and hosting.
Well, we'll catch you later on, and enjoy your dogs. We'll catch you in a bit. Take care. Rebel Laughlin here. We got just a few seconds left on the Wise Ones on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. My next show starting up here literally in about 20 minutes, 23 minutes is called Talking Heads. And my topic today is, why is adaptability not enough? I'm going to close out, and we'll catch you all later on. Take care. Bye now.
Hey, you. Psst. Yes, you. Watching this right now. Are you creating content, a blog, a podcast, a newsletter, going live on Instagram or TikTok, and still not seeing real visibility or growth? Here's why. Anyone can post, anyone can go live, but not everyone is positioned to be taken seriously. Right now, people are going to YouTube to search for experts, for answers, for credibility. So while you're putting in the work, someone else is being seen as the authority. Not because they know more, because they're positioned better. Now imagine this. Your own professionally produced TV show, marketed, distributed, optimized with SEO so people can actually find you. Not just seen, but searchable, discoverable, positioned. You're trained, you're coached, you're guided. No experience necessary, but you do have to be coachable, because this is about stepping into a higher level. This isn't about doing more, it's about doing it right. We've already built the platform, 2 YouTube channels, a global audience, a Silver Creator Award. So the question is, how much longer are you going to rely on temporary visibility when you could be building real authority? If you're ready to be seen differently, go to usaglobaltv.com and apply to host your own show. This is for individuals who are serious about investing in their visibility, their credibility, and their growth. If that's you, we're ready. USA Global TV and Radio, where your voice becomes your platform. Executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Videographer, Paul Garcia. Voiceover, Ed Vargas. All rights reserved. This production is the exclusive property.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/usaglobaltv. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.